Hey guys, BGamersNRV here, back with another video, and today I'm back with some more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we went into our first day of trial for Rise from the Ashes. We finished off the trial former, the first half of the first day of trial, and I believe there is a 30-minute recess going on right now, 20-minute recess, 30-minute recess, something along those lines. We're here in the defendant lobby with Emma. Mr. Wright? Huh? What?
Are trials always like this with you? Like you're swimming up from the bottom of a lake, about to reach the surface, but no matter how hard you paddle, you never seem to get there.
Pretty much. Except today, we're swimming in quicksand. So what happened to your sister anyway?
Apparently she got called off to the judge's chambers.
Probably something to do with that piece of cloth.
So, this is where we turn the trial around, right? Our only weapon, a tiny, insignificant piece of cloth.
I'm the one who's starting to feel tiny and insignificant, to tell the truth. Hola, partner. Only one person could say that line, and that's Mr. Jake Marshall himself. They say you show a red cloth to a bull, it'll fire up its temper. That's what they told me when I was a youngin', at least.
Officer Marshall!
Thought I'd come take a look, see how the trial's going. Looks like I'm late. They've got the home ranch locked down tighter than a fort in enemy territory. Wow, I can't talk. That hard to slip out, huh? What's going on over there anyway? All the police I've seen these last 2 days have been really on edge. Don't you got enough on your plate without worrying about other people, compadre? You could be worrying about the chief prosecutor's taste in mufflers, for example.
Officer Marshall? The whole muffler thing didn't have anything to do with scarves. She wasn't even wearing a scarf.
You don't say. Now don't that just beat all? I've seen the red breeze blow at her slender neck many a time. I saw it that day too. She was wearing a red muffler.
What?
At the award ceremony that afternoon. Edgeworth's seen it too, I'd reckon.
What does that mean?
In the photograph taken in the crime scene, she wasn't wearing a scarf.
So, Miss Starr wasn't mistaken.
Well, it's about time. Remember, partner, sometimes you gotta grab the bull by the horns, and sometimes you just gotta let that bull go where it will. Time will tell. Ugh, I have a bad feeling about this.
So, what are we swimming in now, Mr. Wright?
With steak sauce, I can hook you up with some free ribs. Ooh, wait. No, I don't think we're swimming in steak sauce. I feel like steak sauce would be much easier to swim through than whatever the hell we're swimming through at this point. It's not quicksand anymore, though what's worse than quicksand? Can't really think of anything right now. I'd like to resume. What's up? The judge keeps looking over at the prosecution. Ah! Is something wrong, Mr. Edgeworth? Your face is blue, your lips are purple, you're sweating bullets. That furrowed brow, those grinding teeth, those watering eyes. What's more, your eyes are unfocused. You've doubled over, your back is bent. It can't be. This can't happen.
I wonder what happened to Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, I believe it is time we continued on with this trial. During our recess, I had requested that the prosecution conduct an investigation. This is unacceptable! Seems our prosecutor is quite beside himself. Excuse me. Knock knock. Who's there? Did I give this guy a voice? I probably didn't, because we haven't seen him yet, have we? What's with this guy? A strange, stuffy aura seems to be filling the room.
Hey! The temperature rose 5.7 degrees when that man came in.
Who on earth is he? I think he'll introduce himself in just a moment, or the judge will introduce him for us, won't he? One or the other, something's gonna happen. We're gonna get an introduction of this guy. Or my game's gonna freeze. Oh, sorry I'm late. Udgy, I don't know. The roads were packed, it's just me. Long time no see, eh, Udgy? How you been? Swim much these days? Ah, hello. No, I've been so busy. Busy smidgy, Uzzy, my boy. You gotta make time to relax. Yes, indeed.
Audrey seems to be his nickname for the judge?
I'm afraid you're right. Very afraid. Sorry, but who are you? Ah, so you're Righto, the attorney. I've heard good things about you, son. Thanks? So sorry about our little Worthy giving you all that trouble, huh? You know, we should all go swimming together sometime. Jolly. Little Worthy? Mr. Wright, you don't know the district chief of police? Chief of police? He's a top-ranking police officer in the entire district.
I wonder how we got there.
Bum, 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 bum. Name's gone. I don't know how to... Damon Grant? Probably. But it's not Grant. It's gone. Damon gone? I don't know. Pleased to meet you, everyone. You know, I could probably just watch the anime and figure out how to pronounce this guy's name. Haven't done that. So, to what do we owe this honor today? It's been over 2 years since you last came to this courtroom, hasn't it? Well, it's Worthy here. Look at the poor fella. I just thought I'd help out by bringing this.
Hey, that's my sister's muffler. So Miss Star wasn't just seeing things.
When the crime occurred, Miss Sky really was wearing that muffler. But to think that it was stuffed into that exhaust pipe. On little Worthy's car, no less. I can't do anything. Oh, never mind. There's something else. It's really quite embarrassing, even for us. What's this? It's what you'd call a switchblade knife. Quite perplexing, this. Why did I suddenly switch into, like, half Jake Marshall, half Gaunt? Chief, what kind of outfit are you running? Mr. Edgeworth. How could they miss such a vital piece of evidence? If your investigators are this lax, how do you expect us to do our job? Now, wait a minute, Worthy. I've no desire to hear your excuses. I'm telling you to wait. Or didn't you hear me? Have a look at this document where it says person in charge of investigation. There's no mistaking that signature, is there, Miles Edgeworth? That's not fair. On the day of the crime, I had your head in the clouds because you got that award. I know how you feel. But you're the person in charge. I expect a written apology. What? Are you serious? Don't be too upset. We'll find a way to clean up this mess that you made.
This is the first time I've seen Mr. Edgeworth at a loss for words.
This Gaunt guy has a lot of power over... a lot, apparently. This kind of major blunder is unlike you, Mr. Edgeworth. Gah! The court accepts this new evidence. But I'd like to ask the defense a favor first. Yes? Just to be sure, I'd like to take a look at the blade of this knife. The blade, Your Honor? Well, I don't see why not. Could you open it up for me, I wonder? Yes, well, I think all you have to do is push that switch and... If I cut my finger, Mr. Wright, I won't be able to pound my gavel anymore. Yeah, but if I cut my finger, I wouldn't be able to point at people anymore.
Come on, just hurry up and open it!
Alright, we're back on the bottom screen. We're doing a little bit of investigating. Not really investigating. We're literally just... What? There we go. What? Hello? There we go. My goodness, it took way too long to get to that.
Ah! Don't scare me like that!
I'm the one who's scared!
Look at this knife blade. The tip is broken off.
And this dark red stain. Blood? That's old blood. That is dried blood. That's not recent. This does not excuse the actions of the police department. I would like to hear an explanation from the chief of police himself. I'm terribly sorry, but could I ask you to testify for us about the split between the prosecutors and the police and this knife? Sure thing, not a problem, not even a little one, really. I don't like that. Okay, yeah, so chief of police, this guy got a lot of power over everything, doesn't he? Alright, this knife is special, but I can't say how here, unless there's evidence to prove a connection between this knife and Goodman. That was a bad day for the department. We weren't in any shape to do an investigation. A detective was killed in the police department, see? What a mess. The time of the crime? 5:15. Scary coincidence, huh? It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it. Scary coincidence. There was a murder at the police department. A detective. That's hush-hush information, Udgy. We haven't exactly announced it yet. Wait a second. You said 5:15. That's the exact time that Detective Goodwin was killed at the prosecutor's office. Order. Anyway, we at the department were all flustered, as you might well assume. We're in the middle of a top secret investigation. Don't tell anyone, okay? I think we understand the police department's situation. Well, Mr. Wright?
2 detectives killed at the same time in 2 different places. The chances of that are really slim. Scientifically speaking, of course.
I'd like to exercise my right to cross-examine the witness. Very well. However, keep your questions focused on the case at hand. Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing here, don't worry. First of all, we gotta prove there's a connection between the knife and Goodman, which we can definitely prove with... Where's Goodman's note? This right here. So, before I do that, actually. The switchblade knife does have a tag on it, which, if you... Hold on, we're on the bottom screen now. If we examine this tag right here...
There's a small tag on the knife. It says SL92. What's that supposed to mean?
I'm not sure, but it reminds me of a similar code. DL6, maybe it's a case number?
That's weird.
What?
I don't remember where, but I think I've seen something like this before. Something similar to what's written on this tag. It wasn't that long ago either.
Maybe I should check the court record again. SL92 is what's written on there. Now, if we switch over to this Goodman's note... Oh, I thought it said SL9. Shit! Never mind. Wait. God damn it, I thought I had something. I thought it said SL9 on it. Damn. Never mind, I thought I had something. Or at least I thought. Oh, wait! Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, no, I'm correct. Okay. Wait a second. At last, an honest-to-goodness objection. This knife. This has to have something to do with Detective Goodman. What do you mean? An honest-to-goodness, what do you mean from Udgy? This is great. Look at the tag on this knife. It reads SL92. And this is important. Why? Over here, we also have a memo that was on the body of the victim. What's this? 6 minus 7s, 12 over 2? Your Honor, it's upside down. Upside. The printed name on the memo makes it look like it's right side up. But turn it around and what do you get? Aha! Whoever wrote this note was holding the paper upside down. SL9. It's the same thing that's written on the knife's tag. Yeah, I momentarily forgot. It's like my brain was like, yeah, you have to present the note, but I forgot why I had to present the note, and I had to think about it, and then I remembered. I was like, oh, like, whoa, there's a specific word for this and I'm forgetting. Oh well. Ah well. I guess the cat's out of the bag. You win, Righto. I win? What game is this guy playing? This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room.
I don't think that's true, but you know what?
You know what? We're gonna move past it.
You are supposed to press on.
Wait. This one? No, this one. On the same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed in a police department? That's a fact. Surprising, isn't it, Udgy? I'm at a loss for words. And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested them, in fact. Just arrested? That was quick. But there's still a lot of unanswered questions. Maybe you could help, Righto. I suppose I could help, if you help me by giving me data on your case. Ooh, good one. This kid's sharp. Okay, here's the deal. I'll tell you one thing, and one thing only. Okay, then we have the option. Where the victim was found, how the victim was killed, or when the victim died. We already know... Excuse me. We already know when the victim died, 5:15 p.m. How the victim was killed, we didn't really hear much about it. We just know that they were dead. But, we're allowed to ask one question and one question only. Let's ask where the victim was found. So, tell me, where was the victim found? Well, I can't speak on where the corpse was found, but I can say that the crime took place in the evidence room at the police department. The evidence room? Wait a second. I have heard of that.
The evidence room. Didn't he mention that in his testimony just now?
This knife was evidence in a case. It was stolen from the department's evidence room. There's a connection between the two cases.
You seem happy, Mr. Wright.
Happy? We just got handed our ticket to go to town on this case. With a link between the two cases established, we finally have some leverage. Now we can get Gaunt to testify by the details. It's not officially linked to this here case, so I can't talk much about it.
No.
It's been proven at this point. Chief, the defense's position is simply this. The connection between these two cases has already been proven. You don't say. Well, out with it, Righto. What's your connection? Yes, out with it, Mr. Wright. The connection is a place mentioned in the testimony we've just heard. The knife found in the lot was stolen from the police department's evidence room. Not to mention the victim had on him the case number on the knife's evidence tag. And we also know that the detective murdered at the police department was killed in that very same evidence room. Indeed. There do seem to be too many connections for it to be a coincidence. Gaunt, you gonna say something? You two make a good pair. It took my men 2 days to find out what you deduced right here. Chief, I request that you release your information on the victim at the police department. See, that's the tricky part. It hasn't been announced yet and all. Can we get the information unofficially? Sure, why not? It's unofficial after all.
What? Really? Who would have guessed?
No, really, how did that work so easily? I'll cooperate, but I can't reveal the name of the victim at the department, okay? If you're going to tell us a little, why not tell us everything? Ah, well, case information is sticky stuff. You have to do everything properly. Oh, well, I guess I might as well try to get what I can get out of him. The victim's division, the victim's ID number, or the victim's gender. Let's ask for the ID number. Okay, how about you tell me the victim's ID number? Sure, why not? It's not like you'll be able to tell who it is from that.
Of course not. You won't tell me their name after all.
We keep a tight lid on ID numbers, so don't go getting your hopes up. The number is 5842189. Whoa, that's quite long. And we have to remember these. It drives me nuts. 82, I can't do it. You didn't even get the first number right. Anyway, that ID number should sound familiar to you. The ID number of the victim at the police department. This tells me something, or this tells me nothing? This tells me something. Actually, it does, Your Honor. It does. I think. Meeting. It has to be what I think it is. But what does this mean? Well, let's hear what the defense has to say. You say that the ID number of the detective who was murdered at the police department tells you something? What does it tell you? Alright, we have to present an evidence. You're going to present Goodman's ID. The ID number for Goodman's ID is 5842189. The exact same as the ID number that Gaunt just listed off. Witness! What is it, Mr. Wright? You're grinning like a schoolgirl on prom night. No, it's just, I got confused. And this is news? Huh? Just come out with both guns blazing, like you always do. The police department, the prosecutor's office, 2 places, 2 detectives murdered at one time. Actually, I happen to have a police ID number here. Oh, is it yours? No, Your Honor, I'm a defense attorney, remember? This is the ID number of our victim, Detective Goodman. Shame on you, Righto! Personal IDs are top secret. Detective Goodman's ID number is 5842189. And this means what exactly? Huh? Wait, the ID number we heard from the chief earlier. That started with an 82. I've forgotten. You didn't even get the first number right! Again! The number the chief of police gave us was 5842189. Objection! Wait a second, Wright. What does this mean? That's what I want to know. The 2 ID numbers are identical. In other words, the detective killed in the police department's evidence room was Bruce Goodman. What does our witness think about that? Oh, sharp as a tack, Righto. Sharp as a tack. But wait, Detective Goodman is our victim. He was killed at 515 at the underground parking lot. Yet, a detective, Bruce Goodman, was also killed at the police department, in the evidence room at the exact same time. Objection! That's impossible. So what we're saying is, the same person was killed at the same time, and in a completely different location. Edgeworth's right, this is kind of crazy to assume here. Chief, no. What I want to know is, why didn't I hear about this? Yes, it's top secret, fine, but I'm a prosecutor in charge of the case. Now, just wait a second, Warren. You don't need to get all flustered. Your Honor, the police department has made a grave error in this case. Wait. I said, wait. Or didn't you hear me? The oversight, the grave error, Mr. Edgeworth, they're yours. What? How dare? We informed you yesterday. I believe it was our Officer Meekins who brought you the news. Officer Meekins?
Mr. Wright! Where have you heard that name before? Wait, aha!
Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I got your report, sir. You don't mean him? Of According to Meekins, you didn't accept the report. Hard to believe. But your officer, he told me. He said that the report had nothing to do with the Lana Sky incident. Detective Bruce Goodman murdered at the police department evidence room. Mr. Edgeworth, the victim's name is written right on the top of the report. Why didn't your officer tell me?
Honestly, I'm not sure if that officer was capable of making the connection. He did seem challenged.
In any case, this is a serious error and a gross negligence of duty on your part, Worthy.
Objection!
But, sir, you could have submitted that report this morning to the court as evidence. Then Okay, no such luck this time, Worthy. Or should I say unworthy? What? Now what was the second rule of evidence law?
Well, Mr. Wright?
Huh? Oh, well, it's, Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And how is this rule relevant? Normally, you submit a list of evidence to be used in the court before the trial. This report wasn't on that list. So, what does this mean? I couldn't submit this evidence until a connection was proven in court. The connection was just proven by Wright over here. Good job, Wright, my boy. Huh? I was just doing my job. No. Poor Miles. Poor Miles. This is not gonna look good on you, buddy. This is really not gonna... He got really turned this around on you, huh? It seems we have come to the end of this trial. I know you're going through a tough time, Worthy. What with all those rumors? You were even in the defendant's chair this past December. I apologize for this terrible lack of due diligence on my part. Mr. Edgeworth, please, just give me one day. I'll get to the bottom of what happened. It's the last thing I do. You better get results this time, really. You have my profound apologies, sir.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth.
No, really, this guy really just got put through the ringer, huh? I don't think there has ever been an error this serious in the history of this court. I will grant one further day as the prosecution has requested. Will that be sufficient, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, Your Honor. Thank you. Whatever your punishment for this is, for your sake I hope it is not decisive. Very well. Court is adjourned. And that is the end of our first day of trial. That's the end of the trial ladder. Now, the trial ladder this time was, like, significantly shorter than the trial former. But, you know, it still is a decent amount of dialogue. There is something that is discovered, through this. So, I understand why they split it up the way they did. And, obviously, the next trials are also going to be split up like this. Trial former and trial ladder. I believe the very last trial there, day 4, actually has 3 different trials. It has a trial former, a trial ladder, and a trial ladder part 2, which is crazy, but also, you know, it's the last day of trial for this case, so it kind of makes sense. But I'm rambling. I'm not rambling, actually, I'm just talking. But that is the end of this episode, so I hope you guys have enjoyed, and in the next episode, we'll continue our investigation as ordered by the court and by Officer Gaunt, or Chief Officer Gaunt? He's a chief of police, so I guess you'd call him a chief officer. I digress. Anyways, if you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and I will see you all later. Next time. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye!